Chapter 28. There is no fear. 1. I couldn't look at Otis directly, but I did find the strength to place my arm around his shoulders as we walked through the broken little building and out of the gate toward the runway. At about 100 feet from the plane, I looked back to see if I could get another glimpse of the bird in flight. Only there was no bird to see. He'd shown himself, and he was gone. "Where are we going?" Dominic yelled over the growing prop noise. The old guard, lashed to board, barked out, "We're going to see Bart." "Srinagar?" "Srinagar. Bart will meet us there. He will explain what we have to do to get you out of India." He was giddy. It was strange to me. It wasn't the old guard who seemed strange. It was that he appeared to be the only one happy about all this. The faces positioned around us, from the gate to the plane, all seemed like the embodiment of hate. "This is the first of many small planes." Leo and I looked at one another. To me, he looked how I felt, wondering if this was a good idea at all. I shot a look at Billy to see if he was maybe thinking in sync with me. He wasn't. His attention was on the plane, of course. Leo asked Otis in a loud enough voice, "He knows Bart?" The old guard, knowing our puzzlement, sighed and said, "My name is Sahe, and you are—" He pointed at each of us as he spoke our names. "Billy, Otis, Leo, Dominic, and Finnegan." The old guard smiled and oozed happiness. His grin almost made me smile. Yes, he could have just memorized this information from our passports, but it was odd to rattle off first names like that. It was to me. It was personal. It was sincere. "I know you because I have done more than feed you." He slapped the shoulder of one of the young uniforms as he listened, walking with us. "I have been praying for you. Bart is my spiritual brother. I, too, am a Christian, my friends. We are all spiritual brothers. In him, the One, the King of Kings, our Lord, Jesus Christ." My heart leaped in joy, but still I was confused. There was a scuffle from the side, a young man struggling to unzip a large canvas bag. One of the other young guards was denying his effort aggressively. From behind us, yelling began an argument. And then, pop, 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 followed by men shouting again in their own tongue. There was fear. I turned. Before I could even react, an intense explosion of pain happened within my chest. I felt myself fall backward with the hard push and entrance of the projectile. The AK-47 rifles were firing from two sides. We were sitting ducks. I fell back completely onto the hard and gravelly ground. "I'm sorry," were the words spoken by Otis. I turned my head to him. He'd said this to me. His eyes closed, and he died. Blood, splattered and spilled, was pooling quickly, encompassing the area. Each of us lay motionless. I felt weak. What is happening? I thought. I could see faces. I saw Nora. I felt her hand leaving mine. I saw Cassidy, her hair pulled back, her freckles. They stood there watching me, hurting for me, not afraid. "Do not fear, only believe." The strong voice of wisdom was one I'd never heard, only I knew who spoke. I was unafraid of men around me who could kill my body, yet I trembled, knowing he who created me was present. "You can hear now," said this voice of power once again. I tried to express that I was ready, only what came from my mouth was nothing more than a crack through the blood. The firing stopped. Footsteps and celebration between the men. I turned head and my eyes. I could see Sahe, the only one left alive, it seemed, besides me. He was holding his hand up from his fallen place, as his life was slow to spill out of his body and onto the earth. A man stood above him. "No!" Sahe yelled just as the rifle was fired. charging death to him at point-blank range. Someone stood next to me, a man whose face I never saw. I felt his boot nudge my side. The muzzle of a rifle hovered just above my temple.